All right, guys. What is going on? We are live. Hopefully, everyone is doing well wherever you are in the world. I say welcome. It is Wednesday, July 8th, 11:15 a.m. here in Sydney, Australia. In this live stream, what we're going to do is go over the fights that are in front of us. Bet if you're in Australia, Sportsbet is only showing one fight. It's the fight card on Friday, headlined by Max McIntyre. The odds are terrible, not worth playing it. Props aren't out yet. Fingers crossed they release the fight card. That's what I'm waiting for. Now, there's another fight, the Megan Redstall fight on Sportsbet. That's not until Monday, which is Monday Australian time as well. But if you go to Bet365, and I'll pull the odds up for both, Bet365 has released five more fights. There's a minimum weight world championship in the Philippines on Saturday. The odds are kind of 50-50. We'll get into it. I know all you betting heads want to talk about it. I got some messages about Joseph Sumabong. I know. Joseph Sumabong isn't a household name yet, but he may be one day. Go to Bet365. I'm gonna do film study. I'm doing film study on it. Hell, I might do a Stats Don't Lie video on Joseph Sumabong versus Zheng Clow, and we'll pull those odds up. And then we actually have 4 fight cards this weekend. It's tough for me to build boxing props or parlays when the books aren't showing them yet. So I have given you guys, for all the JSB insiders, go to Patreon, go to YouTube members only section. There are currently 1, 2, 3, 4. There's currently 4 live tickets. The first one is our quarterly parlay. That's live. The second one is our UFC dog double. That's live. The third one is our June and July long parlay. That's live. And then I just posted a UFC moneyline double. That's live. Okay. I also have, I told you guys a month ago, I'm going to repost it. I first posted it a month ago. So I actually have 5 tickets that are live. I am taking Tim Tszyu on the money line versus Errol Spence Jr. I will be in their arena that fight. I'll be at that fight card. I grabbed Tim Tszyu at plus 130. I'm salty because a month ago I grabbed him at a plus 185. He then dipped down to plus 135, and that's where I got him. So, and now he's down to plus 120. So I have Tszyu over Spence, and I'll be sharing that. I'll share that tomorrow in our YouTube members only section and the Patreon. If you guys aren't in our Patreon, we stream all the fights there, UFC fights, all the boxing pay-per-views. It's a couple bucks a month. You become part of our growing professional betting community. The World Cup has been popping. We just watched a crazy game. Argentina found a way. That two games in a row, down late, finding a way to get through. And sometimes when you talk about teams of destiny, it's kind of like that, isn't it? Say what you will about the calls or non-calls with Argentina against Egypt. Egypt was up 2-0 in the 78th minute. And then Messi, Jesus Christ. The Messi setup in the 79th minute from the corner, and I don't know his name, who headed it in. It was absolutely insane. And then Messi's equalizer in like the 84th minute. And then the goal that put them up. I'm a casual soccer fan, but when the World Cup is on, I watch. Freaking insane. It's going to be interesting. France plays on Saturday. All you Aussies, we got State of Origin today, Game 3. We got a lot of shit to talk about, dude. So I'm thinking about pairing Queensland. I'm thinking about doing a State of Origin and World Cup double, plus money line. If you take Queensland at home, they're playing in, I think they're in Brisbane at Suncorp, versus France, it's plus money. So I'm thinking about doing that. If I do that, I'll put that in the Discord. There's so much to talk about. So, and then the UFC, I will be doing a UFC only live stream tomorrow. I'm going to bring a couple of the JSB insiders on the live stream. And then during the Conor McGregor fight card with Max Holloway, I will be streaming during the fights, doing live betting. So keep that in mind. If you haven't hit the notification buttons, do it now. If you haven't liked this video, do it now. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? And join our betting community. Also, to all the insiders, if you want to come on this live stream to chop it up either about boxing, whatever you want, because it's a little bit from a mainstream perspective, it is a little bit slower, right? We don't have a lot of mainstream action, but there is a lot of action, and I'll show you what it is right now. I'm gonna say what's up to everybody though first. E-money, we up. Wait, my shirt will be in the mail, so I'm waiting for my shirts. I got new merch. New merch is up on the YouTube channel. You guys can get one of these. I'll show you real quick. Support the cause, boys. I want these to spread like wildfire. We'll see how this is the first round of the We Up shirts. So right now in the YouTube, I got three products up. We got the White Swindler t-shirt. We got the White Swindler hood. The White Swindler hoodie slaps. Like I said, you throw that White Swindler hoodie on with some nice jeans and some Timbs, boy. Throw a little beanie on there, boy. Shit. And then the We Up, I just posted those. So mine will be in the mail. I just ordered some of these. Get you a Swindler and a We Up t-shirt. All right. So before we go over, morning, Johnny. A month ago, you were. A month ago, I was. Don't know what that means. Fill me in. My boy Johnny, I'm still having a rough time with Hitchens versus Salas fight. I know you told me last night you like Hitchens, but I'm thinking about the Gustavo Slemish fight. Uh, yeah. I just don't see anyone beating Hitchens. I don't see Salas beating Hitchens. I think Hitchens is a different fighter since stopping George. I'm banking on that. Come fight week, we'll do a breakdown. We'll talk more about it. So I need to give Ricardo Salas his proper respect. You know what I'm saying? So I just said it intuitively, instinctively when you asked me in the Discord, and that was just off. Somebody in the chat was like, Johnny, I saw that you picked Max, and this is akin to this comment. He was like, Johnny, I saw you picked Max, but last week you said you like Connor. I was like, yeah. I was like, I could flip. I use the live chat to talk it out, right? If we're not in fight, put it this way, boys. If we're not in fight week and I haven't posted my ticket, like it's all up in the air with who I'm taking. You know what I'm saying? Unless I post it, unless we're in fight week, I can flip flop. I rate his fight IQ, the physical dimensions, what he could do, his arsenal. Um, Ricardo Salas taking his belt from him, that's a tough task. So we'll get into it. A month ago, you were saying Connor knocks out Chinny Max. I remember talking about the inactivity on your live, but didn't seem to bother you. I see you changed your mind. Boom. Just covered that. Good day, Johnny. You said yesterday that you posted a UFC knockout double. I can't find it. Yeah, I posted it. So Aussie Pugilist, what's up, player? Go to members posts on YouTube. Did I say knockout? My bad. If I said not, I meant underdog. I posted a UFC dog double. So maybe it was my accent. The UFC dog, not knockout. If my put it this way, if the books don't open up for me on this Friday card in Australia, I'll do more UFC tickets. You know what I'm saying? UFC is always more volatile from a betting perspective. You get better odds because the parity and the matchmaking. So we're gonna find our wins. Yeah, Queensland, it seems the case. I'm gonna take Queen. If you take Queensland on the money line, we had an internet shortage. Like there was a nationwide kind of blackout, and so my internet's a little bit suspect, but the streaming is good. So I should be clear, but it's taking a while to load. I have NBN for my streaming. Plus 141. So if you take Queensland tonight on the money line and France on the money line Friday, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to play some try scores for Queensland and New South Wales. So I think, look, Morocco's a fun team. Morocco is a fan favorite, but France's top 3 players are just goddamn insane. I don't think Kylian Mbappe is going to be denied. 156 and 1. This is a JSB special right here. So if you are in Australia and you can bet Origin, it's game 3. I'm taking Queensland. I'm taking France. Dare I say how much I bet on that, but I really like that bet. Selwyn Cabo, Hudson Markey, Mark Hammer. Let's go. Let me get the link. Oh, 3D in this motherfucker. I'll drop a link, brother. Where we at? StreamYard. All right, G. Invite guests. Copy. All right, here's the link. Bringing the boys on. Anyone else want to jump on with G, who's a JSB insider? Click that link. What's up, yo? Have you watched Loner? Yeah, I watched Lonnie Kavanaugh's whole career. I watched him in the regional scene. I watched him when he was fighting regionally in England. I watched him in Cage Warriors. You know, he was on Dana White Contender Series. Ultra talented all around the board. Great grappler, good striker. He comes from a family of mixed martial artists. He's been in the game his entire life. His mom was a martial artist. And so he has that one loss to Charles Johnson. But he was I'm going to bring Gary on real quick. Ohio in the building. I'm going to catch up to all the comments. All right, perfect. G's coming on right. Yo, Gary.
Yo.
Not a lot going on. What's cracking? I just watched your live with Mike Tyler having a fight.
Yeah. Mike Tyler. Yeah, he's fighting on what is my Callum Simpson card with
I'm not Troy Williamson and Callum
Troy
Simpson.
Williamson. Well, I could not think of Troy Williamson.
Fucking
Williamson and
hell.
Callum Simpson.
I like, dude. That talk about a parlay killer. That weekend. I remember, at least in my Discord, we hit everything. And the last fight we were waiting on was Callum Simpson, and he was up going into the 10th, and he gets dropped 4 times and loses as a 4-1 favorite.
Yeah,
do you remember that fight? Oh God, fucking hell. So what's going on?
I wanted to see what you were talking about. I checked out your stream because I wanted to see what because I ain't got nothing to talk about.
Mate, it is not a lot. So here's what we'll do then. I've had my eye on. I use 2 different books. There is a card this Friday. It's going to be streaming on UFC Fight Pass in America. Max McIntyre. This is a guy that had an
Australian card. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I know Max McIntyre. I don't know his opponent. I don't really know anyone else on the card.
The odds suck. It's not worth betting on the money line. We're not getting. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we're even getting options because there's 3 guys on that undercard who they're trying to manufacture as knockout artists. Yeah. So if anything, I'm waiting for the odds to drop to play those props. Sagawa is one of them, and then I'll pull that card up. But yeah, as of now, we're getting, and it's not even bettable. It's McIntyre's like an 11-1 favorite. So yeah, Diego Ramirez a 7-loss Argentine. So that's not even bettable. And then the the other book I use is called Bet365. They are offered. There's a world title fight on Saturday. It's a minimum weight world title fight on Saturday in the Philippines. I'm gonna do tape on it. It's 50-50. It's Joseph Sumabong.
These 105 pounders are rough because it's like the
Bro.
level of competition. Like it's kind of like
they're hard.
There's so few fighters. I mean, they might be good. It's hard, man.
It's hard, bro. It's hard. But we have a community of guys who dude. Everybody wants some action. So this is the boys, and wherever you are in the world, go check your books. This is Saturday in Australia. Saturday. Sumabong versus Klo. Klo is 10-0. Sumabong's 9-1. Haven't done tape. It's in the Philippines. Like Gary said, when they're 105 pounds, it's very volatile around there. So that fight just opened up, and then we got that weird girl card. So that girl card it's Monday in America, Monday in Australia, Sunday in America. Megan Redstall.
Yeah.
And then there's a Japanese title fight too on Tuesday. So it's what I'm predicting for all these minuscule, mediocre, C-level cards that are popping up right now. We're probably gonna wake up tomorrow with like a bunch of just mid-tier fights, and you probably just gotta pick maybe 1, 2, or 3 of them that you like, I guess. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. What's your book? Is your book giving you anything?
I got nothing on my book. I got 3 fights next week. That's it. I got not this week, next week. I got the Pacheco fight, the Holland Eubank fight, and something else. Like that's it. Nothing this week. And I got 3 fights next week. No props. I have not a single prop on my book.
Yeah, I'm not getting any props either. So, Bull Aussies, this fight goes down next Tuesday. So, Australia, Aussies, we have fights Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. 5 days in a row. But in terms of quality and what we're going to be looking at with props, this is Kawaguchi versus Kajino. That's obviously a Japanese fight. You mentioned the oh, here's the card. All right, so have fun with this one. This is 2 separate cards, July 11th, July 12th. You're not going to see too many household names on that list. And then the biggest card this weekend is the UFC, the return of Conor McGregor after 5 years fighting against Max Holloway. But
I got people asking me about this. I don't even know about the UFC. Like, why don't you just ask me about soccer too? Yeah. What do I know about UFC?
I'm a soccer casual. I only watch during the World Cup. So the money making in the first 2 rounds, a lot of people are making a lot of money, but as it's kind of thinning out and we're getting closer and closer to the final group, it's kind of a coin flip. So Australia has this sport, rugby league. It's not the same as rugby union. It's known to Australia, New Zealand rugby league. And every year they do a state, New South Wales versus Queensland. Queensland is the state with Brisbane. New South Wales is the state with Sydney. They do this sort of Civil War trilogy every year where they take the best, and this is during the professional season. So this would be akin to NFL. What if during the middle of the NFL season, they took the best players who played for Texas and the best players who played for Ohio?
Ohio would get mollywopped.
You are crazy. But anyway, you're out of your mind, dude. Ohio runs football and boxing. So
Texas
you're smoking dope. So that's a different conversation. But imagine if the whole season stopped mid-season for these guys to play against each other 3 times throughout the season. That's what the rugby season does. It's the biggest sport. It's like people get out of work for it. Game 3 is tonight. It's a decider. So I told all the boys, Queensland on the money line, France over Morocco on the money line. We're getting plus 141. That's where I was at when you came on. So where can I see your parlays?
I did want to ask you. I was in your city. I was there for 4 days.
I'm from Youngstown. Even worse.
Defend your city. Defend your city, John. Defend your city.
Cleveland is like the Beverly Hills of Youngstown. So Cleveland is the Beverly Hills of Youngstown. So it's very upscale, very classy, not dilapidated, modern, very modern. You got a lot going on. The CBD, the Central Business District, they have a nice finance area. No, it's an old dilapidated.
I was over right by Cleveland State.
Oh God, yeah, Cleveland State.
There was
Nothing.
nothing there. Nothing.
No.
Like literally, I passed probably 10 cars and 12 people on my way to the fight, to the weigh-in, which was over by the stadium.
Yeah.
I literally passed 12 people on a Friday at 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
What's going on with your city, bro?
What are you talking about? It's 2026. I moved from Northeast Ohio in 2000. So when I was 18 years old, I went to college at the University of Pittsburgh, and then I stayed around on the East Coast till 2002, and then moved to LA. But my whole family lives there. They live in Youngstown, an hour south of Cleveland. It's just an old steel town. You have to go to the suburbs where all like the old immigrants are. There's Little Italy's there. You have your Slavic communities, but these people are getting older and older. There's no economy. There's no commerce. General Motors closed. All the steel mills closed. This happened in 1978. It was called Black Tuesday. And so up until 1978, Northeast Ohio, Cleveland, this includes Detroit, Gary, that whole part of Interstate 80 that runs from New York City to San Francisco. After all the mills closed and the automotive industry shut down, there's nothing there. So
Literally,
it's horrible.
like
The airports,
Joe Kim Noah ain't never lied, bro.
The airport is crazy.
Lied.
Cleveland, John's getting off.
I've been to worse airports than that. I've been to way worse airports than that.
That airport. I mean, it's like a time when you're going from like. Have you been to Sydney Airport or like?
No.
It's very modern, or Singapore. Like you're used to like fucking. It's like a time machine.
I get it. Like I've been in worse airports than Cleveland.
Okay.
Now, granted, they're very small cities like Laredo.
It's just,
Texas.
I guess when I say worse, it's just very quiet. There's nobody there.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You feel like you're in a time machine a little bit.
Yes, it's empty. It's crazy. So that's why they always say in the economy. I mean, put it this way: in Youngstown in the 1920s, there were 200,000 people in the 1920s. Youngstown, Ohio, produced the Warner Brothers. So the first picture palace was in Youngstown. It's called Stambaugh Auditorium. Then they went to Hollywood. In modern day in Youngstown, 40,000 people. So 1920s, 200,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's nothing there. Why stay? So all my friends, all the guys I grew up with, the guys I'm still tight with, they all live in Columbus, Ohio.
I finally met Marcus. I met Marcus.
Ohio runs boxing?
Yeah.
He's everywhere. He loves it.
Yeah.
He's good for the sport. He's like
the
Ohio.
Youngstown. Yeah.
Yeah. He grew up in my hometown.
Yeah. He still lives there. I think.
Yeah. I think he might live in he might live in New Orleans, but no, maybe you're right. Maybe he went back. But so what was the card like? The
event
was it packed?
Great.
Was it really sold out?
Not an empty seat in the house, bro.
No shit. Okay, so that's a conversation, Gary. To be
it holds 9,000, and there were 10,100 there because you put everyone on the floor. Like it was,
and that's a conversation to be had in a town where the economy isn't good, the crime is high, the average household income, at least in Youngstown, is less than $30,000. On a weekend on the 4th of July, you're selling out a 10th. Shout out to the Masons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The average income is 30 grand.
Watch this. What? Look, I'll pull it up. I'm saying these stats that sound insane to you, right?
Yeah.
Watch. I'll show you. Youngstown, Ohio. Okay.
34,000 per capita income. Yeah.
34,000.
Yeah.
Isn't that fucking insane? And then you look at the demographics, how that was compared to like the 1960s. In the 1960s, because General Motors, the manufacturing plant was that basically was the heartbeat of where I come from, and the steel mills. So if you look at if you think about dating back to the Civil War when the North beat the South, the first blast furnace that was created to melt down iron to use as ammunitions was in Youngstown, Ohio. So Bruce Springsteen wrote a song about that called Youngstown. But after like that whole industry left, it's just nothing. Like crazy. Dude, it's horrible, man. You have no idea. My mom always
the jobs just all got outsourced?
Well, the jobs were the steel mills. The steel mills closed. They moved to Mexico, and the automotive industry shut down. So we went from having factories everywhere to just the Lordstown plant. I don't even know if the Lordstown plant. I think it might it might.
Cleveland was a trip though, because you go to Detroit. And I haven't been to Detroit in 12 years, but you go to Detroit, it looks like a bomb hit it, right? Like it look.
Well,
Cleveland
Detroit's downtown at least is kind of cool. When
no.
it's
No. Well, I
when's
haven't
the
been
last?
there in 12. I haven't been. It's been 12 years. Yeah,
In
I
the
haven't
last
been there in
5 years, you'll be shocked. In the last 5 years, it's changed a lot, but it's only aesthetically pleasing when it's nice out. As soon as it gets dark, you ain't going
Baltimore.
out.
It's Baltimore.
Yeah,
Baltimore.
the Harbor Place.
Yeah.
Like the Harbor Place is cool during the day.
Yeah.
Shit, at night you better.
as soon as the sun goes down, the cops disappear too. We out this bitch.
Blue
Yeah.
cities, those
Yeah.
blue cities, man, it's crazy. Cops, they're not. It's insane.
But Cleveland doesn't look like a bomb hit. At least not where I was. I walked down to where the theaters were. I walked up to the lake. Like we went to a seafood restaurant. And like it didn't look like a bomb hit. It just there's nobody there. It's like
there's no money.
Nothing, yeah, there's nothing there.
Cleveland was popping though. Cleveland was popping when LeBron was there. The LeBron years. That's why everybody where I come from is wants him to come back because money gets brought into the city. And when the Indians are good,
sign when I was there. Like I know he's gonna resign there. Like just do it now. Just do it now. I wanted him to do it when I was there. See what that was like.
Yeah, he's a legend in Cleveland. But people are talking about? So the fights itself, people were saying that the Scooter Davis fight was close. We streamed all of them. I thought it was too close for comfort. I think people with a guy like Scooter Davis, people just expect him at this stage of his career to just steamroll everybody. And so
when Ramos was a good fighter. Like, I know he got dismantled by Asinal, but
I rate Asinal though.
Yeah,
Asinal, they call him the Wasp. He has really good skills, really good hand speed. We'll see if when he steps up, if all of the stuff that Asinal has, if it works as he steps up. The thing that I liked about Scooter was his ability to, he didn't get frustrated even though, he was sticking to his game plan. He wants to be the bully. I'd like him to throw punches at different speeds. He needs to add versatility to his offense. Everything looks the same. He comes to the front door the same way, and he doesn't respect anything his opponent's giving him. And so he doesn't hide anything. You got to add more feints, set your power up. And that was kind of similar issues I had with Abdullah early on in the fight is he's so determined to get you out of there that it almost looks like not necessarily Abdullah's rushing his work, but everything kind of looks the same sometimes. And I was impressed how he didn't get frustrated with what Albert Bell was presenting to him the first 6 rounds. Great adjustment 6 rounds after, but sometimes we see 22-year-old fighters who visibly will look frustrated in the corner.
Well, he's not mentally 22. He's mentally 35. Yeah.
Bro. That's my favorite thing about him is that we've seen fighters break apart in corners. You've seen, guys who are older than him having adversity, yelling at their corner, getting in arguments, body language, sucking down. Not that kid. That kid, a direct connection with the relationship probably has with his family, father, and faith. And
really, really good family. I like the whole family. Really good people. His brother told him in the corner to start the 12th. You're losing. You're losing.
What'd you think about that?
It worked. I mean, he got him out in 45 seconds. It's just.
Did you think he was losing?
So I didn't. Marcus had it. Marcus had him down a point going into the last round. I did not.
Yeah, I talked to him on Facebook about that. But Gary, that is an atypical Northeast Ohio mentality. Seriously, I met Ohio and Northeast Ohioans where we come from, Youngstown, Cleveland. Like, if you're expecting, like he said, he was down because he's giving those close rounds to Bell, right? Like it's a weird thing. I don't even know what you would call it. I had after 6. I mean, going into the 6. Going into the 6, would you have it?
Going to the 6th.
Yeah. So after 5.
I had a 3-2 after 5 Bell.
3-2. I think that's what I had it too. Some guys I had it 3-2. And then some guys were saying it was 4-1 or he lost every round. And I was live streaming during the fights. I was like, don't listen to these guys. You can't listen to Mora. You can't listen to Mannix. Those guys are horrible.
No, Mannix, I've gotten pretty friendly with Mannix, but his scorecards are the worst scorecards in the world. He's the worst scorer alive. Chris
Mate,
Mannix's scorecards do not reflect reality. They
but
have
bro,
nothing to do with what's going on in the ring.
it's what it does is what I think he does this for. I think there's a reason his intentions are to sway the live betting. And this is what I was telling the boys. It's almost like he does this intentionally to sway the live betting.
Maybe.
And
Maybe.
you
I didn't think of that, but possibly. The
bro,
whole thing
think
is
about
DraftKings.
yes,
DraftKings live betting, DraftKings parlay of the
yes.
night. Like,
Think about this.
you might be right.
Because I tested. I never usually stream during the fights, and I did during this fight with the intention with the sound off. And I had Julius was on my stream, and then I had the Discord, the chat running simultaneously, so the boys could see it. And people they panic over what Mannix and Mora are saying. People are listening to them, and they're looking at the live odds, and they're like, "Oh, man, he's down 5-1. I'm smashing it." I was like, "Bro, if anything, Mason." Like, and then after the 7th, I was like, I'd already picked Mason by knockout earlier in the week. I got it at plus 110, and then going to the fight night, it
I
wasn't
didn't bet.
plus.
I just parlayed all the favorites. I should have taken because I
Bro,
thought
this
Mason
is
by stoppage too. But I was like, Bell's tricky. He might not knock him out. Plus 110. Yeah.
If you go into the archives, me, you, and Muscles did a live stream, I think last May or last June. And that for me, and I never try to make it sound like I knew all this a year ago. You know, I've been betting on sports since I was 7, but Italian wise, running numbers, got a bookie. Here's my $50 here, that sort of thing. But I didn't know about the top rank A side sort of thing until like last year. And then it's a real thing. And I was telling everybody, if you're betting, this is because we've had, dude, the last 4 weeks, man, before the top rank card, that week was good because we had Xander and we all took boots. But the week before that, and then a couple weeks leading up to that, there were a lot of freaking iffy 50-50 fights. The books weren't helping us out a lot. And we needed that top rank A side. I was like, look, go heavy on this. These guys aren't losing.
Did you see my thumbnail? It was me and my dog. My dog got a big gold chain that said cannoli. That's her name. We're
with
eating.
The cannoli.
Top rank diet. We're eating. We're
bro,
back. Top rank diet is delicious. Yeah, it's real.
It is a real thing.
You feed your family on the top rank diet for real.
And even though we knew that, there's going to be the boys and probably yours as well in my Discord saying, Bell. I was like, bro, Bell is going to have to knock Mason out to win this fight. He's not winning on the cards. And, this is before the fight, I'm saying. And then people were saying that Shushu's going to get upset. I was like, bro, it's going to be a close fight. So there were people who were salty after the fight because they lost. I was like, you guys lost because you chose to go that route. If you would have listened to the top rank A side route, everything came out how we expected.
Simple. I did another video today. I make it simple for the slow boys. Like, slow boys are getting rich, right? Like, I'm trying to explain to you, like, this doesn't have to be brain surgery. It doesn't. Like, if the slow boys just do what I tell you to do, you'll make money. Like, even the slow boys, Sergio Mora and Chris Mannix and Max Kellerman could all make money, but you got to listen to me. You have to listen to me.
Bro,
they don't listen. I give you a parlay, a 4-leg parlay at minus 120. Just bet it, you'll make money. And someone says, should I take Palacios by 3rd round knockout? Bro, you're not going to listen to me. You're not going to listen to me.
Every time I try to give, because I always try to give the fighters who fought, who are in the booth, I always try to give them the benefit of the doubt based on the respect of the game, right? Yeah. I'm all out of benefits of the doubt for Sergio. I can't even listen to him anymore because I know that he knows boxing. And you know what's even crazier, Gary, is we're watching these fights and neither guy, the guy doing color or the guy doing play-by-play is talking about setups, is talking about feints, is talking about technique, is talking about strategy. When Edwin De Los Santos got knocked out against Rayo 2 weeks ago, I brought it up and people thought I was hating because I did pick Edwin and he lost. For the booth, Andre Ward and Max to not even mention that in the rule book, if any part of your body hits the canvas, you are a downed opponent. And if your opponent touches you, that is a DQ. That is in the rule book. If the booth isn't even going to acknowledge that, what the hell are we doing?
Well, they clearly have an agenda. They clearly have an agenda.
But that needs, in my opinion, the ethics of the narrative, like, have the agenda all you want, but there's rules. That's like watching baseball, clear rules, a guy who strikes out gets a fourth strike. We know that you get 3 strikes, it's an out, right? You get
Yeah.
out of the batter's box. In boxing, any part of your body hits the canvas
It's a
and you
knockdown.
get hit, it was like DQ. Like Ryo punched him as he was down. It wasn't even just like questionable. And they didn't even acknowledge it. Like they act like, at least for me, at least acknowledge it. At least say, "Oh no, we're gonna have to go see what the ref is gonna say." Edwin was clearly
Because
down there.
I was waiting for them to announce it was disqualification or something crazy, and watch the fans go crazy. I'm like, he clearly hit him when he was down. Clear as day, he hit him when he was down.
Yeah, and I get it. You know, he was losing the fight. He was hurt. Even if the first punch had him out, he still got hit when he was on the canvas. It's up to you, the duty, the ethics of the commentator to acknowledge that. So you're gaslighting the whole boxing world? So
Yeah,
we're now sitting here.
It was like in the Lamont Roach fight with Tank
Saying-
Davis when Davis'
Yes.
corner jumped
Jumped over.
Over. The trainer went in the ring and wiped his face up. I was like, bro, what are we doing? It's
During-
over. No, fight's over. I had money on Tank too, but like I had to be real. Tank lost that fight via disqualification. It's not even debatable. It's not even up for interpretation. By the rules, he's disqualified.
Did they acknowledge it? I'd have to rewatch it. I don't remember. Did the booth acknowledge it?
Never mentioned it.
That,
They were
see,
just like,
that's-
it should have been ruled a knockdown. It should have been ruled a knockdown. It should be ruled a knockdown. The fight should be over.
so what's up, Retro CJ? He goes, look at Patty versus Crocker. Rios was worse, but it's like they let him get his lick back for once. And I get that. And we know what happened in the first fight, and we all saw that first fight. I think you understand my point. The point, though, is we got to at least acknowledge it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not up to the booth. It's not like the booth has any say-so in the outcome of the fight. The booth's job is to keep the audience engaged, and in my opinion, should be to educate. How else? Part of the, we always talk about matchmaking, great fighters, high-level fights will help grow the sport. You know what else will help grow the sport? Educating the fan base on the freaking rule set.
You got to get a fan base, though. You got to build a fan base, and the fan base is going in the wrong direction. Like, it's going in the wrong direction. It is shrinking, and we get worse and worse fights every week now. Boxing's in really bad shape. I don't want to be that dude. It's in really bad shape.
So for it to say, because we could debate this, for you to say really bad shape, how are we identifying what bad means? First, we have to say, what is bad?
At least in the U.S., okay? So,
now we're getting somewhere. Now
in the U.S.
Okay.
TV deals,
yeah,
notoriety, stars, all of those things are down. There's no noticeable star. There's no TV deal, which is to say there's no money, and there's no notoriety for a sport. Like, you call up your sports talk radio station in Cleveland, Ohio, and ask them who Bam Rodriguez is. See if they know. They'll have no clue.
But that's where you come into play. This is good for us. This is good for God.
We're talking. We're preaching to the choir, though. We live in a bubble. I remember when my daughter was like 4, and Errol Spence fought at Cowboy Stadium, right, when he fought Mikey Garcia, and she's going to like Christmas on ice with a bunch of her girlfriends, right, with a bunch of her friends, all girls, 4 years old, 5 years old, whatever she was at the time. And they drive in, and there's a big sign of Errol Spence returns to Dallas, right? And my daughter goes, "Oh my God, it's Errol Spence! It's Errol Spence! It's Errol Spence!" And like the rest of the girls look at her like, "What are you talking about?" Right? And my daughter came home to me and said, "Daddy, boxing is more popular than football, right?" I was like, "No, sweetie, only in this house." She goes, "Oh, well, boxing is more popular than football in Texas." Right? I was like, "Definitely not." And she was all confused because all I talk about is boxing, right? And I say all that to say we live in a bubble. As fight fans, we live in a bubble. If you live in Seattle, Washington, go call up your local sports talk station and see if they know who Abdullah Mason is. They have no clue.
You think so?
No clue. In Cleveland, they do, but outside of that, of Cleveland and outside of hardcore boxing fans, they have no clue who he is.
So to push back on the, because I think boxing is in a great place. I think that internationally, with so many shows, so many opportunities, I like the DAZN streaming deal because we get to see cards stream that we wouldn't. Social media, Facebook, YouTube, you can see more fights more now than ever from a betting perspective. But you got to remember, Gary, in America, There was a time where people said during the Floyd era that Floyd was killing the sport, that Floyd Mayweather was bad for the sport because
No,
how he fought and the
when
chokehold he had on
people
paper. Do
say
you remember
Floyd
that though?
no, I remember, but they're wrong because Floyd is a dynasty. Dynasties are good for sports. People say they don't like dynasties, but they do. The NFL was bankrupt in 1990, in the early 1990s. It was on the verge of going bankruptcy before Jerry Jones brokered the deal with Fox, right? And then they had a dynasty with no cap salary, right? And the Cowboys. And then you had a 20-year dynasty of the Patriots, and football became the most popular thing in America, more popular than anything, right? In basketball, you had Michael and Scotty and that dynasty. And then that went right to Shaq and Kobe. And then you didn't have any more dynasties, and the ratings fell off. And then you had the Warriors dynasty, and the ratings skyrocketed again. And then you had the end of the Warriors dynasty, and you had the ratings tank again. And baseball, the ratings were in the garbage. Now you have a dynasty with the Dodgers, and the ratings are going back up. Sports love dynasties, but we pretend. And Floyd was a dynasty, so Floyd was good for boxing, even if people said they hated him. They may hate him, but they're going to watch him.
I heard that PBC is signing a deal with DAZN. Did you hear about this? A streaming deal?
No, I did not.
Yeah, Boxer signs a deal with yeah. How dare you talk about dynasties? You skip over LeBron James. How dare you? I know you did that on purpose.
When was LeBron James? What dynasty? He won one championship in 12 years with Cleveland.
What are you talking about? You're talking about who brought eyes back to the sport. LeBron James has been carrying the NBA since he came out of high school.
He was never part of a dynasty.
You're out of here. Dude,
he was never part of a dynasty.
He brought eyes to this. He was the dynasty. LeBron James is the dynasty. Crazy. You're a LeBron James denier.
We have a different definition of a dynasty.
You're talking about a team. You're talking about an organizational dynasty. I'm talking about individual player. I heard after Jordan retired, you had Kobe.
Yeah, and then Kobe. You had the Lakers dynasty, 3 in a row.
Yep.
Okay.
And then LeBron. I'm not talking about teams. I'm not talking about teams. I'm talking about guys who carried the sport.
But my argument is dynasties, dynasty teams that win every year carry the sport. Baseball was king in the 90s and 2000s because of the Yankees. Then it died.
No.
Now it's coming. Yes.
No. Baseball was king. Baseball was king in the 90s and 2000s due to the home run era. Ken Griffey Jr., Frank Thomas, Jeff Bagwell, Sammy Sosa.
You had the evil empire, literally what we call the evil empire in the World Series every year. If you didn't have that, if you had the Minnesota Twins in the World Series one year, the Kansas City Royals in the next, and the Mariners, you wouldn't have the evil empire, which everyone was trying to knock off. That's my point. They literally called the Yankees the evil empire because they bought all their players.
You know where George Steinbrenner's from?
Ohio. Him Cleveland. And Don King are both from Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio. I mean, we're getting. Let me see if the dude said what dynasty LeBron had. I'm a diehard.
Yeah, we have a different definition of dynasty. Look, LeBron was a great.
You're talking about teams.
He was one of the top 3 or 4 players of his own era, so he was very good.
You're crazy. You're out of your mind.
The best player of the Kareem era was Kareem. The best player of the Michael era was Michael. The best player of the LeBron era was Kobe Bryant.
You're crazy.
Like
Kobe couldn't do half the things. Kobe didn't make.
He was the biggest.
Kobe made.
It's like the Canelo era.
Kobe didn't make anybody better. Kobe
who's the best fighter of the Canelo era?
Kobe had a good fadeaway. He had a good fadeaway, and he could only do things he couldn't do. He could dream of being LeBron.
This is how I rate basketball players. Right? This is a final 5 minutes of a playoff game. Who do I want? Who am I taking?
LeBron James.
The answer is taking Kobe Bryant over everybody. So that's the best. Kobe is 1, Michael is 2. And then we can have a conversation after that.
You are just a Kobe fan.
Well, I'm a Kobe fan because he's the best basketball player I've ever seen in my life. Like, that's why I'm a fan of him.
That is an awful, awful statement. I would go Michael Jordan 1, LeBron James 2.
Michael's not better than Kobe. I can live with that.
Oh my God.
He's not better.
Michael, I didn't know you were a Kobe Glazer. This is insane.
You didn't know it was a Kobe Glazer?
No, dude. Yeah, Michael Jordan. Michael Jeffrey Jordan is hands down the greatest basketball player of all time.
Is the best. Okay, so like great. When we say great, we're talking about legacy and impact. Okay,
we're talking about.
I'll give you that.
We're talking about you got a basketball. You give it to the greatest player who you giving it to. I have a
Kobe
basketball
Bryant.
right there. I'm giving it to Michael.
Kobe
And then
Bryant.
Michael will give it to LeBron.
So here's like, you're starting a basketball team. You want to win the game. Every basketball player who ever lined up is standing against the gate. You get to pick first. Who are you taking? The answer is Kobe Bryant.
LeBron.
Like,
100% LeBron.
Larry
100%
Bird was asked,
LeBron.
Larry Bird was asked, if you could play with any player, who would you want to play with? He said, well, if I want to win, I'm picking Kobe Bryant. Yeah,
you know
if you want to win, you're picking Kobe Bryant.
Do you know what Larry Bird also said?
What did he say?
In an interview Jeff Teague just gave 2 days ago? Jeff Teague was giving an interview on his podcast. He said when he was playing, Larry Bird said that he will never take any player on his team who played with LeBron. And Teague was like, why? He was like, because every guy who's played with LeBron, when they're on the court with LeBron, they look way better than they really are. And then when I get those players and LeBron's not on the court with them, they're not as good. So
he said,
whatever,
if you want to score, you want to have a bunch of fun, and you want to move the ball, you play with LeBron. If you want to win, you'll play with Kobe Bryant.
You oughty. Michael, Jeffrey, Jordan, and then everyone else. And then we could come to terms.
I'm not like, okay, so like, here's the thing. Michael and Kobe. What is Michael? I can name things that Kobe does better than Michael. Better three-point shooter, better ball handler, right? He's got a better handle. What does Michael actually do better than Kobe?
Win.
Not really.
Win.
Not
efficiently.
Really.
Win.
Not really.
Yeah. Six for 6.
5. Come on.
6 for 6 though.
5.
6 for 6.
He won 6 finals.
He went to 6 finals. Won 6 finals.
Why did he go to more?
What do you mean? Why didn't he go to more?
Why did he go to more?
He took some time off. Not everybody's prime is as long. You know, Kobe Bryant. When you look at how many,
I'm with you. I'm
Kobe,
with you.
Kobe didn't carry those Lakers teams with Shaq. Look, Jordan was the ace side every single team he was on. Kobe was the guy who was playing Robin to Shaq. So don't forget that either.
Never. Okay,
you're crazy.
Let me give you a factual stat. In every single championship that the Lakers won, in the Kobe Shaq era, who led the team in fourth quarter scoring? In every single championship run, who led the team in fourth quarter scoring?
As a Kobe fan, Derek Fisher,
Kobe Bryant,
Robert Horry.
No. He may have been scoring in the final 3 seconds of the streak,
dude, but yeah, dude, big shot Bob, man. That dude hit some big. Derek, don't sleep on Derek Fisher either. That awkward ass. Let's see what Nathan's saying. Johnny, if he had Kobe Glazer, I can't lie. You a Shakur Glazer. Shakur's trash.
That's wild. Is that 79 in disguise? That's 79.
Dude, we're getting Shakur's getting hit with strays, and I'm getting called a Shakur Glazer. That's insane.
I'll take that too. Like Shakur, there are 3 great fighters in America right now: Boots, Shakur, and Bam. You can put them in any order that you want, but those are the best fighters in America, and those are like the truly great fighters right now. Verge still has to earn it, but those are the 3 guys who are head and shoulders the best. Devin and Verge still have to earn it. Those guys are unquestionably great.
All 3 have a very diverse skill set, which is very unique to their strengths. All 3 have a really good ability to neutralize their opponent's strengths. Jaron will neutralize his opponent's strengths with his own power, which is very impressive. Shakur neutralizes his opponent's strength with his timing and his movement and his intuitiveness and his defense. People are like, he runs. He fought Edwin De Los Santos one style and fights everyone else a different style. Front foot counter boxer, will punch with you. And then Bam, special all the way around the boards. Footwork, angles. The way he angled Vargas and got that stoppage, I'm still pissed at that because I took the over 5.5 and I was 14 seconds too late.
Yeah, I was looking at the clock.
Oh my God. It's like, who is pulling these strings? 14 more seconds, Vargas. Come on. But Bam, yeah, Virgil, North America. So that you got 3, right? I mean, what other country has 3 guys at that level? Like you say, America. Like who are England's 3? Who's Mexico's 3? Who's Mexico's 3? Who's Japan's? Japan. Yeah, Japan.
But what I'm saying is,
how many do you want?
Fighters.
No, how many?
It's not that. Listen to me. It's not that America doesn't have great fighters. It does. It's that no one knows who they are outside of the hardcores. That's the problem. Right?
How do we measure that though? Then how do we? It's impossible for us to test 15 years ago how everybody knew. You know what
Everyone knew Floyd. Everybody knew Shane Mosley. Everybody knew.
Did everybody know
Miguel
Sugar
Cotto's
Shane
Puerto Rican.
internationally? Did everybody know?
Well, in America, I'm just talking about in America. Just in America, everyone knew who Shane Mosley was. Everybody knew who Miguel Cotto was. Everyone knew who these guys were. If you ask your average casual sports fan, who is Abdullah Mason, who is Bam Rodriguez, they don't know. They don't know. Who is Devin Haney? They might know Devin Haney. But they know Ryan Garcia because he's a clown. But Ryan Garcia is Ryan Garcia. Like, he's not relevant. They know
He's grown on me. Garcia's
grown
on me.
But Tank doesn't fight. Ryan isn't any good, right? Like, those are the guys that they know because they're stars outside the ring. The actual Keyshawn Davis, they don't know who Keyshawn Davis is. They don't.
Gary, could you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. I don't know if it's my connection. I'm struggling to hear you. Mute. Man, all of a sudden I can't hear you.
You want me to refresh? Let me refresh.
Let me ask the chat. Can you guys hear Gary?
Can you hear?
Yo.
Can you hear me?
Weird.
1 in the chat if you can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me.
Give me 1 second. Oh, hold on. All right, guys. We'll see if you could you hear me? We were just getting started. Nathan goes, Johnny, if he's I'm a Shakur Glazer. You're crazy, dude. Shakur's a beast. You said that what's his special moment? Being 28 years old and being a 4-division world champion. Shakur Stevenson has won titles at 26, 30, 35, and 40. He's 28 years old. What do you guys expect from him? So they say they can hear you.
You can't hear me? I guess not. I was going to start saying Johnny is gay and all types of things, but you couldn't hear me. Well, now you got an echo. Can you guys hear the echo? Yeah. Now you're good. Can you hear me?
Johnny is gay. That's fucked up. Let me try removing you and jumping back in.
Are you on your cell phone or what are you on?
Ban from studio. Edit mic settings. Mic volumes up. Surround sound, Gary. Mute mic.
What up,
Remove.
Kyle?
That's so bizarre.
Kyle, what you about? I feel like I don't see you in my chat no more. What up, Kyle?
Maybe we go live. Gary, give me 1 second. I'm gonna kick you out and then come back in. Kick from studio. And then I'm gonna put the link back in for Gary. Copy. All right, try clicking this link. This happened when Malignaggi was on last. We'll see if Gary clicks that link. We got some Shakur haters in the house. Yo. Got it. Dude, last time I had Matt, we did a live with Tommy and Malignaggi, and he was silent, and it was the most frustrating thing because I had to hold my phone device here so I could hear everyone. It was the most least professional thing you could do. But where were we? You said they're saying Johnny restart stream. All right, we're good. We're good. All right, so we got. Let me pull something up real quick. Corey Sandhagen, my most confident pick. So North America. So how do you fix it? We can't just talk. If we're gonna talk shit and bash anything, we should at least. I used to manage people when I liked working around people before I started running my own businesses, and people would come to you. I'm sure you've been in this position, working. When you doing stocks or whatever in New York, they come to you to bitch, but they don't offer any solutions. It's like if you're gonna come to me with issues, you got to give me at least a solution that we could try to implement and execute. How do you? What's the solution to at least fixing the problem in North American boxing then?
It's a lot. And I had a friend, a good friend of mine, Nate, who jumps in and out of my chats just to troll people, right? Big sports fan, baseball, basketball, football, the major sports. He's in New York City. He went to the Shakur Teo fight, said he hated it, right? Didn't understand the scoring. Like, he doesn't watch boxing at all. Like, that's the first fight he's watched like in probably 20 years. He didn't like the scoring of it, right? Like, he didn't like anything about it. He thought the fight was boring, right? I can't do much about that. Right, we can try to use smaller rings. We can do that, but it was at the Garden. They already got a small ring. Can you make it can you make it like a national sport? Can you have like Texas versus Cleveland, Texas versus Ohio rivalries? Can you have Texas versus New York? Can you do things that were going to make people want to root for it? Because right now we don't have any nationalized stars. We have stars in the boxing world, but the stars in the boxing world aren't well known outside of the boxing world, other than Ryan Garcia, who sucks, and Tank Davis, who doesn't fight anymore. So that doesn't do us any good, right? Like Deontay Wilder he's done, right? Joshua Fury, those guys are done. Like that era of stars that we had 5 years ago either don't fight anymore or they're past their prime and they're done. So like, how do we usher in the new stars? Like, I think we have to change our approach. I like what Dana's doing, but Dana doesn't have the inventory yet. He doesn't have any sexy inventory. He's putting on great fights, and hardcore's like watching it, but is that bringing in new fans? Are new fans going to jump in to watch Kane Sandoval versus Brandon Lee? I don't know. You're going to save what you have, but I don't think you're going to grow it, right? Like, to grow it, you need to grow stars. How do you grow stars? You grow stars regionally, and then they become superstars.
Well, in the amateurs, they do state versus state. I remember, going.
Yeah, can we do that in the pros? Let's do that in the pros. Yeah,
yeah. I remember
we used to have
fighting
Texas
against Pennsylvania kid,
yeah.
Ohio versus PA, Ohio versus West Virginia when I was younger. The thing is also you have to keep in mind is how many distractions there are in modern social culture with social media things. Everybody's on TikTok, so many sports in America. You got boxing, we don't have a season either. I think we need better organization. I think we need a calendar. I think we need a sort of database to centrally go to see what's on, see who's fighting. We're not organized. We need to collect it. And because the 4-belt era, WBC, WBA, nobody's put their hand up to be like, it'd be cool for another entity to take charge of like the sort of behind the scenes admin stuff and be like, here's a schedule. Here's who's fighting. Here are potential fights and make it look nice. Maybe do it. I I hired an AI guy maybe 5 months ago and I tried doing this on YouTube. I just couldn't figure out how to do it. We were doing a 24/7 ticker on the betting odds, but then YouTube flagged it and got the channel removed. But it's multifaceted, right? Somebody said you can't manufacture a star. Well, you can. Boxing, promoters, this is what Top Rank does. This is what Golden Boy does. You can't manufacture a boxing star to break through to pop culture. So that's what I think when we had the Floyds, when we had the Tysons, there were less distractions. And as soon as one of these guys would pop through, all eyes were on him. That's going to be the challenge.
Here's my point, right? And Jake Paul said this about Terence Crawford. Where would you rank Terence Crawford's the best fighter of the era, right? So post Floyd Mayweather, Terence Crawford's the best fighter of that era, correct? Correct.
Do I just answer this yes or no, and do I wait to add on or
just yes or no? Yes. Yes. Okay. Jake Paul said this. My mother has more followers than him. Well, Terence Crawford is as good a fighter as you're gonna find. He's one of the great fighters of all time. Nobody cares about him.
People forget,
unfortunate, but it's true.
Before the Errol Spence Jr. fight, which was only 2023, nobody knew. He wasn't marketable. He wasn't. Social media presence wasn't there. He had to, and this is part of the admiration I give to him. He had to not only fight for everything that he has right now, but he had to fight outside from a business perspective. We knew how good he was. The guys in boxing knew, but at the time, how many Instagram followers did he have before the EJ fight? Probably not a lot.
That's what what Jake Paul's up. My mother has more followers than Terence Crawford.
But I think that's an organizational thing. I think that is a lack of the sport being disorganized and not developing. The one thing I do like about Zuffa is before the fights, they do give each fighter a little bit like a 2-3 minute promo to introduce to the new fans who these guys are. When Jay Brio Pay Benito got knocked out against in his last fight against
Hurt.
a kid. Dude, shout out to where'd this kid come from? Usually we got our ear on like up and comers before Tony Hirsch beat Merriweather. I had no idea who he was, and this kid's like a diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
What is there? Just an underground fight scene in Oakland that I didn't know about? But anyway, most of the comments that I was reading was like, "Damn, I feel bad for Jay Brio because I watched the 2-minute story before the fight." We need more of that. We need more of stories telling the stories of the fighters on the international level. So I think if Zuffa continues to do that, I don't like the way they chop up their prospects. They don't give a shit about developing people.
Well, I disagree. I think it's just different. I think it's sink or swim as opposed to swimmies, right? We're gonna throw you in the deep waters and see how you swim, as opposed to putting you in a kiddie pool with swimmies on, like Top Rank does, like Golden Boy does.
Everybody develops differently, though, mate. You have a guy that's some kids will develop at 22.
Let's say you lose a bunch of fights. So what? They're not dropping you if you lose. So it's okay.
But it's how you lose. How much damage did you take?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Did you get knocked out cold? Did you lose a close decision? How much damage did you take? The damage that Valoria took in his last fight, his second fight with Zuffa, was insane for being a 21-year-old highly touted prospect going up against a 26-year-old dog Mexican. Didn't get stopped, but he got hurt. And so it's that sort of accumulative damage when you're putting these guys who have a lot of potential in the ring with a guy that the matchmaking is unforgiving, like you said, which Zuffa is. That's what I'm worried about. It's like that's where matchmaking is important in our sport, knowing through the handlers where a guy is. Even it could be a 50-50 fight, and it could still be good matchmaking. Like there's been no.
I understand what you're saying. This is a violent sport.
True.
It's literally a fight. It's your favorite sport because it's literally a fight. Every other sport is an analogy to a fight. They always say, this basketball game is like a heavyweight fight. The fight's actually a fight, right? That's why it's the best sport in the world. Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's why boxing or MMA, pick your weapon. It's the best sport in the world because it's actually a fight. So I say all that to say it's violent. You're going to get hurt, right? Like if you didn't want to get hurt, you should have picked a different sport. Like you should have picked baseball. You're not going to get hurt playing baseball. You're going to get hurt playing this sport, right? Like I remember coming home from like sparring sessions and stuff with my nose busted and my dad having to hide my bloody shirt in the sink in the garage so my mom didn't see it and make, like that doesn't happen in baseball.
This is why my mom, they made me stop when I was 50. Look, I mean, granted, I'm half Italian. This nose has been shattered here. Yeah. It had to get reset when I was 12. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a brute, but that's the romance of it. Like we want to see guys, we want to see the drama of a guy getting hurt and picking himself up off of the canvas and then trying to win the Chico Corrales of the world, the Arturo Gotti's of the world. You only find that in boxing. We you could have that 93 playoff game when the Bills were down like 31-3 going to the halftime against the Oilers or reverse
Super Bowl with the Falcons and the Patriots. It happens, but
it's not the same when it's not just hands. It's not the same when it's not just hands. I'm gonna pull up Zuffa. Have you looked at Zuffa's upcoming schedule? No. Richardson Hitchens is fighting Ricardo Salas this month for Zuffa.
Yeah, in 3 weeks. Yeah.
Is it? I mean, that's pretty crazy when you think about it. What do you think about this fight? Because I've been I've been taping it. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. The boys have been. They're not bringing Salas over to be a star, is what I'm saying. So July 26th. Derevyanchenko versus Hackett, Berlanga versus Butler. That's a good card, man.
Yeah.
And it's in, where's that? Is it New York City? It's in Madison Square Garden. And then they're going to Ireland. They're doing a Dublin card. So this is a different version of Zuffa, though. And I think what they do? They premiered in January, give or take a month on either side of the year. Already now in July, halfway through the year, they're putting together cards with guys like Richardson Hitchens headlining. You know what I'm saying? And prospects like Jalil. Because right now the narrative is like they're getting a lot of guys who are older. They're signing. Jason Maloney just won the world title in Japan, and Ozzy just signed to Zuffa today. Or they're showing us a lot of prospects we haven't heard of. what are they going to say in a year from now if this keeps trending with guys like Hitchens and, is that long term going to be good for boxing, do you think? What Zuffa is branding themselves upon, taking the big stars and then taking the younger guys and kind of making them sink or swim. Do you think they're going to hold up the same sort of method with pairing the stars 50-50?
I think that's. I mean, I would think so. I think. I think that's their
MO.
Yeah, that's their methodology. Yeah.
Whoo. So what else other than the North American thing? So when you say boxing's in a bad place, you only spoke about the development of superstars in North America and them
Well,
not being household.
That's all I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm just talking about boxing in America. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, are any of those soccer players household names in America that we just watched in the World Cup?
No, and soccer has no popularity in America.
Are any of those New York Knicks players household names in America?
Jalen Brunson. Yeah.
Do you think he's a household name in America?
Yeah. I think every
I don't
household.
know. I don't live in America.
Yeah.
So you think there's a kid? You think there's a kid in Albuquerque, New Mexico, who doesn't play basketball who's heard of Jalen Brunson?
100%. Especially now. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how we would test that. I would be shocked if there was, because I mean, in 1994 there was a kid, at Toluca Lake. Everyone knew who Michael Jordan was. So I
sure,
think though,
is Jalen Brunson as popular as Michael Jordan? No, Michael Jordan was probably the most popular person on the face of the earth. No,
but isn't that the precedent? Isn't that our precedent of what we're talking about?
If that's your precedent, okay. Is he as popular as Michael Jackson?
No, being a
Elvis or the Beatles.
No. Being an athletic household name, a star.
I would say that Jalen Brunson is 100 times more popular than Jared Boots Ennis. 100 times.
I'd like to know what the chat.
I would say for every one person.
Oh, then Ennis. Oh, Ennis is still regional. How about?
Okay, well, he's one of the best boxers on planet Earth. So
no, what I'm saying is he still hasn't broken through Philly yet. For him to be, that's the crazy. But he fought New York City, which is granted a lot of Puerto Ricans there. He was getting booed there. I thought that the crowd would be 50-50 in New York.
I'm with you.
You know what I mean? But it wasn't the case.
It wasn't. Yeah. I thought he would have like Danny Garcia always had a healthy following.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Who's the American football? Who's the best? Who's the most popular NFL player these days?
I mean, it's probably who's the most well known. It's still probably Aaron Rodgers, but you got Pat Mahomes,
and he's 40, and he's in his 40s.
Yeah, but he's still active.
So are these guys household names in America?
It's Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce household names? Yes, 100%.
For kids who don't play football, they'll know these guys.
Will they know Pat Mahomes? Yes.
Okay.
Will they know Josh Allen? Yes.
You think?
Yes. These guys.
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I'm just asking because I don't. So you're saying is boxing that far off? I mean, I'm sure kids know who Canelo. People will know who Canelo. People should know who Bud Crawford is. You don't think people know Bud Crawford?
They do now, but he's retired. So what does it matter?
And then you say Ryan Garcia.
They didn't. They know Garcia, but Garcia sucks. They know Tank Davis, but Tank Davis doesn't fight no more. And they know Canelo.
What do you mean? What do you mean? But Garcia sucks, though. Like
he's not good.
Well, now we're talking about talent level. The conversation though is about boxing being in a good spot.
But you don't know if the only basketball player you know is Peyton Pritchard. Are you gonna love basketball?
But we're talking about the growth of boxing being
right. You're not going to grow a sport if the most popular fighter is not.
Why is Garcia a household name though? Because social media.
Because he's good looking. He has 10 million. Because he's good looking. He has 10 million followers.
Social media.
I went to his fight in San Antonio. It was 70% chicks sitting in the front row.
Social media. But social media,
social media, yeah.
So that's where that's my whole point. That's where I'm getting at. So organization, these guys maybe need some sort of media training. Like, there's no organization in boxing. We don't have if you go when you get drafted from playing college football to the NFL. As soon as you get drafted, they start pre-media training these days. There's none of that in boxing. They're not teaching these guys how to speak. They're not teaching these guys how to give interviews. And why would they? Because nobody's in charge of any of that. So that's an issue as well. And unless you're a super marketable guy with one elite skill, like being a knockout artist, which doesn't come around every generation, it's going to be difficult. But from a betting perspective, with streaming, with how popular online gambling is, with how crazy our culture is with the fight game, I think boxing's never been in a better spot.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I just every metric would disagree with you. The amount of money in boxing would disagree with you. The amount of people who watch boxing would all disagree in America. I can't talk to you about Australia or England or anywhere. I'm just talking about in America. Every metric would disagree with you. I'm telling you right now, the average sports fan can name more WNBA players than professional boxers. I promise you.
It's interesting, though, that North America is sending, in the last decade, 2 of their most famous North American boxers to fly 15 hours to fight in Australia. Why is that?
He's talking about Spence and who else?
Mal Charlo.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I mean, yeah.
Come on, dude. That's insane. That's it. That's telling me boxing is growing. That's telling me boxing.
That's what it tells you. Okay.
Yes, because
there's absolutely no interest in Errol Spence or Jamal Charlo fighting in America. That's what that tells me. No.
Well, it also it tells me there's a market internationally for those guys.
And now, again, I'm only talking about boxing in America. Boxing in America is dead. It's not. It's not that it's on life support. It's not that it's not. It needs to be. It's dead. It's done. After this generation, there'll be no more.
That's insane. I totally disagree, man. How could there be no more? The American amateur boxing scene is the best in the world.
It does. How does that matter?
Because it's producing a product.
Nobody knows who Boots Ennis is. Nobody knows who Bam Rodriguez is. Nobody knows who Abdullah Mason is. No one knows who these people are. What does it matter if they're good or not? It doesn't make any difference. No one's watching it. Nobody cares. There's no way to access it. Like, I'm telling you, there is for every one person who knows who Boots Ennis is, there's 1,000 people who know who Jalen Brunson is. Like, it's not even close. Like, the average American sports fan has no clue who Abdullah Mason is. If you don't believe me, go call your local sports station. Go call, if you're in New York, like I grew up in, go call WFAN. And when they pick up the phone and say, hey, did you watch the Abdullah Mason fight? They'll have no idea what you're talking about. No clue. That's why the sports.
I'm not. My pushback is the simple. You said boxing is dead in America. I mean, I'm in Australia. I think it's never been better, and it just kind of shows you that Boots needed a Brit. Boots needed a Brit to market to promote him.
Yeah,
you know, shout out to Eddie. Eddie had him for one fight, and he sold out the arena in Philly 2 fights in a row. So, I mean, that doesn't mean though, from a viewing perspective. So we're measuring boxing being dead in America from an acknowledgement of viewership and household names, not talent wise. And not skill set.
The talent's actually fine, but no one cares about it.
We care about it though.
But there's not enough of us. That's what I'm saying. There's not enough of us.
For what though? What's your like? What do you mean?
To carry this, to make the sport profitable. Like the reason
profitable.
why no, it's not. The reason
you just went. You just went to a dilapidated.
The reason why we don't get good fights in America is because there's no money. The reason why Boots hasn't fought Verge is because there's no money in it. That's why. The reason why Shakur hasn't fought Tank is because there's no money in it. That's why.
You just went to dilapidated ass, run down Cleveland, Ohio, and saw 10,000 people pay to watch the fight.
Do you think Abdullah Mason will fight? Do you think he'll fight Raymond Muay Thai in Cleveland and they'll both make millions of dollars? No, there's no money. There's no money.
I don't know. I don't know what they're making. But I know that every fighter we said could sell out an arena in their hometown.
Virgil Ortiz can't sell an arena in his hometown. He's one of the best fighters on planet Earth, and he's from a major market. He can't sell an arena.
Well, that's his own.
Bam Rodriguez.
Bam definitely could. You don't think he can sell San Antonio?
Eddie Hearn doesn't put him in San Antonio anymore because he doesn't sell there.
That's insane. Regis Prograis sold out an arena in New Orleans only like a few years ago.
I was at the fight. He wasn't there. He didn't sell it out. It was a good crowd. He didn't sell it out. Yeah.
Okay. And I heard you say this. This is why, though, like
I'm not trying to come off as a hater. I'm just trying to say the sport is in disrepair in America, not internationally. I understand. In America, the sport's in disrepair.
Economy. Are you? If you compare, it's obviously not the golden era. We're obviously not watching. It's not the Tyson era, But there's just so many more opportunities for the average person to have their eyes on. So we're in much more of a vacuum.
all of American boxing, there's not a single big fight that you're going to get on TV. So you can't watch it on TV.
What is TV though? But
you have to buy one app, and the average person in America doesn't even know what that app is.
But terrestrial TV doesn't even exist. What is TV though?
They
TV
know
doesn't
what
exist.
terrestrial TV is. The NBA Finals, the Super Bowl are on terrestrial TV.
We don't
people watch it.
On what channel?
The Super Bowl rotates every year. It's either on Fox or ABC or CBS. It rotates.
So didn't they just have Abdullah Mason on TNT?
Well, yeah, that was the first fight we've had on.
Isn't that a step in the right direction? That's a step in the right direction.
Sure, yeah, it is. Okay.
It's not like you had to go to Facebook
prior to July 4th. There was one app that you could watch boxing on, and most people, the average person in America, doesn't even know what the app is.
Well, if you guys want to watch, if you want to watch all of the fights, join Gary 3D's Discord where he streams all of them. Or mine, Johnny Says Boxing Discord. We stream all the fights. So if you're not in our Discord, do it. Support the channel, support the cause. We obviously are not casuals. We are a fan of the sport. So we got, the boys are saying Paramount Zuffa. They're saying UFC is on Paramount. Fans will tune in Sunday after UFC for fights. Yeah, Conor McGregor's fighting. So we'll see. Is Zuffa releasing they released 2 new fight dates. You got July 26th and August 8th. Do we really expect Zuffa to be around in a decade? Is that Dana's goal? It's like, you know,
yeah,
and Bob
I think
how old Bob's 98 years old, dude. What's Top Rank gonna do?
Yeah.
What's Top Rank gonna do?
Oh, Top Rank is in Todd DeBuff's hands. There's other people besides him that will carry it.
Okay, so there's people who care that much about it as he does.
That's good. I don't know. I'm not inside. I mean, I
don't hear many. I don't know
he
many
was
people.
Always so full of life. Like even like I saw him a year ago. He was still in great spirits. I saw him at this fight. He's old now. Like,
well, you know what? Like at that age, you know.
Yeah. You know,
my grandma passed at 93, and up until she was 92, she lived alone, did everything alone, and then within 6 months, you start degrading, and then you're out. You know, so
yeah.
It's kind of what happens. We get old and then we die. I'm just hoping the Top Rank isn't like an entity spearheaded specifically by Bob, and then once he's gone, everybody cashes out, and that's that. So I don't know. I don't have those answers. So Zuffa is going to make the sport. So Zuffa's going to shout out to round 1. Zuffa going to make the sport in America better. Look, the better Zuffa makes it in America, the better boxing will be internationally. It's interesting because boxing, you have guys like, you know, C-level fighters who sell out local arenas in Sheffield, England, because the Brits love a punch-up, because they don't have to be world champions. I think British boxing, they don't rely on their they don't need a guy to sell tickets. You got a guy like, we saw Nathan Heaney. Nathan Heaney sold out Jerome Warburton. That fight would sell, what, 100 tickets in the U.S.?
Yeah, yeah. It wouldn't sell at all, yeah.
Nathan Heaney versus Jerome Warburton, packed arena in the UK. So it's just different. And, you know, I saw Tim Tszyu fight Tony Harrison in front of 22,000 people. It was absolutely insane. You know what I mean? So, and Harrison wasn't even in his prime. But so what are the boys saying? I keep looking at my book, hopefully seeing that odds will open up, but I don't think it's going to happen. Not today. Have you done any tape for the fights coming up in the next few weeks?
I did the tape on Harlem Eubank. I just did the tape on Gassiev. I'm recording that video tonight, that breakdown tonight.
What do you think of Eubank Papo?
I'm leaning toward it. It's a 50-50 fight. I like the over. I like it to go the distance. 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 I meant to do it earlier because I'm getting Eubank at slight plus money, like plus 120. I'm gonna throw a little bit on Eubank. I think if it goes to decision, obviously that's going to favor Eubank. And what Eubank does is just more eye catching, right? He's a great athlete. I don't love Eubank, but he's going to get. I favor him. Politically, I favor him in his hometown, and what he does is just a little bit more eye catching. He's a little bit better athlete. He does flurry a little bit. I want to see more of that. Pop Out carries his hand low, and he's slow. Eubank is way faster, but Eubank doesn't work his jab, right? Like work his jab. You can you can make him pay when he carries that hand low. Just pepper him with
Yeah.
the jab.
See, the thing with me with that matchup was when Harlem first, the boxer second. He's 5'8". This fight's at welterweight. He's not like he relies on explosiveness, athleticism, things that are kind of naturally gifted through his genetics. David Pepot, 6'1", big. We saw how crafty he is as a southpaw. You get a big, rangy southpaw against a guy in Harlem Eubank who relies on his athleticism, not necessarily his boxing acumen. This guy has over 30 pro fights. I know it's in the UK. I don't know what the odds are. I haven't looked at it yet. But when I saw that fight was scheduled, I was like, that's a tough fight for Eubank. I'm not saying I'm picking Pepot.
Pop-out, in my book, in the States, Pop-out's a slight favorite. That's what I'm saying. I'm getting Eubank at plus money.
Okay. He's a slight favorite. Papo gave Liam Peril all he could handle. Peril struggled with the size. Liam struggled with how big Papo was, especially in those later rounds. And he was better. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I watched a little bit of tape on Papo before the Liam Peril fight. He impressed me. He was way better than his tape looked against Peril. I don't know if it's because he fought up and, he fought really well. But if that's the same guy on fight night against Eubank, the Eubank we saw against Jack, the Eubank we've seen, against kind of low-level British talent, I think Eubank, the later that fight goes, could have to answer a lot of questions.
Pop-out is 35. Keep that in mind.
How old is Eubank? 32?
32, yeah. He's old. He's not young either.
He's not young either, but
he's a much better athlete. He's way better athletically.
Yeah, I guess he does have 23 pro fights. Paro Wagner. It's an interesting one. When does that fight go down? So you've already done tape on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have. I mean, at least we have some action in the in front of us a little bit. So what is he saying? Let's take some of the boys, because UK doesn't have any other sports to watch, only soccer and boxing. Well, and boxing, when you're looking at the old days of bare knuckle boxing and the gypsy culture, it's part of their culture. These boys love a punch up. They'll be punching in the streets, and a lot of them aren't doing it professionally. There's a lot of pros who are boxers in the UK who have full-time jobs. That's another thing as well. So something I've been thinking about philosophically, why do these guys not have a lot of knockouts? It could come down to maybe it's an an unspoken agreement that, hey, I got to work on Monday.
Well, let me address
half
that.
joking. Let
me explain why I think it is. I think this is a pretty good conclusion. So there's two things. A, that's not the way they're trained to fight. They're trained with a very amateur style. That's what it is. Also, you get a lot of these guys who fight every week. You get a lot of these road dogs who fight every week. If you get knocked out, you can't fight for 60 days or whatever. Fight next week. So their motivation is to not get knocked out so they can fight again next week. You get these guys in Brits who have records like 6 and 109 and they've been knocked out 3 times, right? Like, you see this. So they're just in there to survive so that they can get another paycheck next week. If they get knocked out, then they don't get a paycheck next week. They don't get a paycheck for 30 days or 60 days or whatever the suspension is. So they're in there, and these aren't. When you look at these fighters, these fighters in Britain who have records like 7-7, they're not.
Gary, I got to wrap it up, boys.
Dead.
I got to wrap it up.
Okay.
My device is dying. We're 90 minutes in. With no fights, we'll do these more. I'll come on your channel tomorrow if you got time.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, send me a message. I got to wrap this up, guys. Time is flowing. I got to go. I got to go client. So I got to run.
Thank you, Johnny.
All right, guys. We're doing our best to fill the time with the lack of odds, the lack of fights to break down in terms of betting. I appreciate it's been a slow week, but we're gonna get through it. G's always a pleasure. Go follow 3D Boxing if you're not. There's not many of us online on YouTube who are doing it this way. You're not going to go to 3D and find a casual channel. You're not going to come to mine. We know that. We are fans of the sport. It's good to disagree on things. We don't always have to agree on everything. This is how you build healthy relationships. And stay tuned. I'm hoping in a perfect world we wake up tomorrow and I got odds on this Australian card, because I've had my eyes on the undercard for 2 weeks. I know a couple of the young guns on the undercard. I know why they're paired with their matchmaking. These guys are big, young, underdeveloped guys who are aggressive and they go for the knockout. So keep your eyes open on the books. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the stream. I'm doing a UFC only live stream tomorrow. I'm gonna do 2. Early live stream, normal. The second live stream will be UFC MMA only We're going to get into that Conor McGregor, Max Holloway card. I appreciate all you boys. Thank you, guys.